G'day there guys, Marky here, and welcome back to another episode of r/relationship advice. With that said, I want you to sit back, relax, chuck a prawn to the Barbie, and let's get right into it. Posted by user evab, titled, Am I the asshole for not wanting my girlfriend to repay her school loans to her parents? So my girlfriend and I are planning to move in together after 3 years of being in a relationship, and money came up as a point of discussion. We are both fine with splitting up expenses in a 50-50 manner. We live in the EU, she is in university, I am soon to be working as a decently, but not greatly, paid government employee. The problem is that my girlfriend, years ago, chose to move to a big city and study at a private university instead of a public one. Her parents, likely being overconfident in their economic possibilities, decided to pay for my girlfriend's studies, but on the condition of being paid back as soon as she gets working, seeing that she could have chosen a public and cheap uni instead. She has to repay about 50,000 euros in a country with a median net salary of 20,000. My girlfriend's degree is not really marketable, and such a debt would cripple our start in life, hurting us much more than it would hurt her parents not to get the money back. As an addition, my opinion is that parents should facilitate their kids' life, and they should not expect children to be economically neutral or positive to them. My girlfriend assured me that she would pay back her parents from her own salary, but really, that would be money coming out of our already thin paychecks, and I would end up needing to compensate for her initially low and then even lower salary after the loan payments. I told her that I don't care for her parents, and I feel morally fine cutting ties with them. I told her that we as a couple need to make us two a priority, and that I don't want to be collateral damage to her and her family's irresponsible decisions. I'm not suggesting to flip off her parents, but politely explain to them that we have a serious need of money and they don't. She proceeded to get mad, reassuring me that we would not feel any monetary damage, which is literally untrue, and that eventually we will be fine. I'm coming out the gate swinging, saying that, you know what, you should destroy your relationship with your parents because you made a promise to them, and we're gonna be together forever, so what's the problem with you cutting them off? Have you not read that post back and seen how unnecessarily evil an action like that would be? You are such a piece of shit. I'm sorry. You suck, OP. You suck. I think you should just go find someone else without crippling amounts of debt. Without a useless degree, a non-marketable degree either. Geez, it doesn't seem like there's many positives about this partner that you're with. Hey, you're the asshole. In the comments, Lizzie says, you're the asshole. You don't have to live with her if this is so bothersome to you, but she owes her parents this money back. Your opinion that parents should facilitate their kids' life and they should not expect children to be economically neutral or positive to them is just that. Your opinion. It doesn't really matter to anyone but you. Exactly. And that's so mature of her to pay them back, because she gave them her word and she is keeping it, and your actions say a lot about you, honestly. She should think twice about it. The coolest idea I ever heard from parents with kids that insisted on paying unwanted rent, etc., if you truly don't want the money back, is putting it into an account and waiting for a big life event, looking for a house, getting married, and giving her the money that she paid you then. You sound like you have a great kid. I paid for 4 years of college, but loaned one of my kids some money for a master's. I had kind of forgotten about it, and about a year after they finished, my daughter comes to me with the biggest smile on her face, hands me an envelope and a check for the full amount. It wasn't money that I needed to live on, but I took it because it meant something to her to save, and she was so proud. I opened a separate account with that money, invested it, and when she got married, I gave her 2 times what she gave me back to help finance the wedding. I could have said, "It's fine, honey, you keep it." But I knew my daughter. She's very strong and fiercely independent, and it was important to her to repay what she said she would. JRM1102 says, you're the asshole. Oh lord, so you just decided her parents no longer needed to be in her life? Just because? Because he would rather lose family than money. Not his family, of course, hers. The cute thing is, he thinks they will never need them in their life, so just cut ties with them, XD. Future abuse flag. Pushing for family isolation. And now, onto the update. I'm done getting lynched. Most of those who commented did not read my post, did not get my point, downvoted my explanations, and know F all about me, my girlfriend, and our relationship. Yeah, look, OP, this reply from you, it's not speaking wonders, that's for sure. Obviously, the downvoting of my clarifications reflects the need to lighten up my straw man. I don't see any reason. I think I have been polite and discoursive, and I have only gotten insults back. Probably shouldn't have asked teenagers how to handle adult life. I initially kept it out of the scope of this post, but I did help her these last times financially. I do not hold it against her, and I do not want her to pay me back. I want her to have a successful life, even if we eventually might not end up together forever. I don't want her to cut ties with her family, and I would hate for it to happen. That's why I suggested talking and explaining. I have been accused of wanting to control her money. Apart from the ridiculousness of the fact that I'm barely trying to control my money, I have been getting groceries for her out of my €500 salary. I will leave this here, which I believe summarizes the situation well. One of the commenters says, "No assholes here. If she needs to pay €50,000 on a salary of $20,000, she will not be in a position to contribute to a house or to have the time and money for children. Even if she's paying it out of her salary, that means that the next 5 to 10 years are going to be affected by this debt. By extension, anyone who's partners with her will be affected also. I can't fault her for living up to the agreement with her parents. She has also been making a point of splitting costs 50-50. She acted entirely ethically. The problem is, if you're in a relationship, her debt is going to affect the life that you can have together. I won't blame my girlfriend. I advised her against it. But ultimately, she made a choice as a 20-year-old something inexperienced girl, but her parents should have known better. Ultimately, I don't want to be the one paying 90% of the rent, utilities, and food because we need to repay a useless debt. I wish to establish a thorough and well-thought-out plan to make a family of us. Morally, it's wrong to fleece her parents, but it's wronger to cripple us too for a decade. That makes me the asshole, but it makes me an asshole that has a point, a valid one. Also, the US is an effed up place, and honestly, you should ponder how my situation, the worst kind of loan situation where I live, is regarded as nothing bad. It's just debt, where you live. And that's it, that's the end of the post. This guy, I don't think he made a good point. If I'm being honest, it sounds like he doesn't like the criticism that he was facing. She's not at fault for this situation. Her parents shouldn't have known better. They made a good decision for their child to get educated. You say that you didn't want her to cut ties with the family and you'd hate it to happen, but you're actively asking her to cut ties with her family because of this useless debt. I don't know about you guys, but OP seems to be in the depths of denial. Good luck to that relationship, hey? What do you guys think of this one down in the comments below? I'd love to know. Our next post is by user Anonymous Am I the Asshole, titled, "Am I the asshole for calling my fiancé selfish for wanting to announce her pregnancy at her cousin's wedding? My fiancé, 29 female, and I, 31 male, just found out that we're pregnant. My fiancé mentioned that she wanted to wait to announce it at her cousin's wedding, which will be taking place on Sunday. Her cousin and her husband have been struggling to get pregnant even with IVF or tons of others. Recently, they just got some news that their insurance has stopped funding IVF, and not to mention the heartbreak of a recent miscarriage on Mother's Day. They almost understandably held off on the wedding. So, when my fiancé brought it up to me, I told her that it's not at all a good idea. This just seemed so wrong, especially it being at their wedding. I asked if she was going to at least ask her cousin for permission, and she said no, because she wanted it to be a surprise for everyone. I told her it's not the time nor place for that, and it would take the spotlight off the couple. In her family, there hasn't been a baby in 3 years, so we'd be the first in that time. My fiancé feels that's the perfect time because it's such a joy, and it's not like she can keep it away forever, and their problems shouldn't keep her from telling something so positive. So it's on them if they turn it negative. I told her that's not the point. She knows what they've been through, and she's being selfish if she actually goes through with that. She cried and claimed I wasn't being supportive, and I shouldn't be calling my pregnant fiancé selfish. She doesn't want me to come with her to the wedding anymore either, feeling as if I'd kill the mood. She hasn't been talking to me either. Edit. So about my fiancé and her cousin's relationship, my fiancé always saw competition in her cousin because her cousin would be better at some things than her. Grades, dancing, cosmetics, etc. since they were kids, and she hates that. Last year they had an argument about it because fiancé felt her cousin bragged too much, whereas my fiancé also mentioned there was one thing that her cuz wasn't good at, but she never said what it was. God. So in shorter terms, the relationship is in between good and bad, but her cousin wanted to invite her to the wedding. I'm guessing to rekindle that. OP has offered the following explanation for why they think they might be the asshole. I could be the asshole for calling my fiancé selfish when she wanted to announce her pregnancy. She is pregnant, so I could have been a bit more sensitive with her and not just called her a name like that. OP, there is an astronomical difference between calling your fiancé selfish and what your fiancé wants to do. There is honestly a laundry list of names and phrases that could have been thrown out that could have made you the asshole for sure, but you chose selfish. If your fiancé also meant that one thing that your cousin is not good at, being having kids, Jesus Christ, man. Your fiancé is a bad person. Let's just put it that way. They are a very bad person. Lots of words, actions, thoughts, energy that they're putting out into the universe that's just unwanted and unreasonable. I would say look at her behavior now and extrapolate where that may take you in the future and if this is someone that you want to be with personally. Anyway, not the asshole. In the comments, Crystal Queen 3000 says, not the asshole. Your fiancé has a bad case of main character syndrome. To the point of actually being unimaginably cruel. OP, this is pretty concerning. If I was OP, I would highly consider warning the cousin, but that could definitely cause marriage problems, or spoiling the surprise ahead of time so she couldn't do it on the wedding day. Not the asshole. I came to say exactly this. And honestly, OP, I know she's pregnant, but you really should think long and hard about marrying a woman who would do this. I'm sorry to say this, but only narcissistic people would pull this crap at someone else's wedding, much less one where the bride had a recent miscarriage. There are 4 things you never, ever do at a wedding without express approval from the bride and groom. Wear white, propose, come out, or announce a pregnancy. Your fiancé wants to take the limelight away from her cousin, and that is awful. Good luck, not the asshole, and do not let her ruin that wedding. So, murder is still on the table then? That's a joke, of course. Murdering people is also unacceptable at a wedding. Not the asshole. Hijacking someone's event to make your own announcement is extremely rude and selfish. Add on that the couple is having trouble getting pregnant themselves, it's that times 10. You know what would be fun? If we announced this at the wedding so we can simultaneously take away from their big day and trigger their latent trauma from their troubles with pregnancy. 2 birds, 1 asshole. God, I hope not. The fiancé should open her announcement with, well, your wedding has been great fun so far. Now let me completely ruin any memory you might have of it. And now, onto the update. Sorry for the long wait, as I've been going through some things. Me and my fiancé breaking up, work, death of my grandfather, etc. So I didn't expect to get a bunch of replies to my post, but a lot of them were very helpful. My ex was determined to go to the wedding, despite my protests, and even planned out how she was going to be refusing alcohol when offered. I did tell my ex's parents about what she was planning on doing. I didn't want to tell the groom or bride because I wouldn't know how to put it in words that would make the whole situation any less awful. Ex's parents did end up telling the bride's parents, and then they told the bride. The bride was so upset that she, unfortunately, called off the wedding. Everyone wanted her to continue it though, and then invite my ex for a couple of plans that the guests had thought of. For example, when my ex announced it, everyone would just stay nonchalant and not give her the excited reaction that she was hoping for, and the classic just don't invite her plan. The bride, understandably, just wanted to be left alone, and she just texted my fiancé a very long paragraph telling her what a horrible person she was. She just decided not to do the wedding anymore, and her fiancé was very heartbroken. But all in all, they were both grateful for me. My ex instantly knew that I was the cause of all of this, and she was furious at me. Even more because I posted about it here, but also said a pretty sick thing about how she was still pretty much won anyways. I just decided to break up with her myself after that. Some of her family members are kind of upset with me, as they believe I just caused a bunch of drama. Now I'm currently in the works of talking to an attorney, as my ex told me that I will not be seeing the baby after they're born. So all of that on top of grief, working, breakup, being called a mess starter by some of her family, and still feeling like shit because either way, the bride and groom were heartbroken. It's just putting a bunch of anxiety and stress on me. Anyways, here's the long-awaited update. Any questions, I'll answer. Edit. So they were pretty much already contemplating on cancelling the wedding. Family members did stress her out over her miscarriage and cancelling. Her fiancé's family were excessive about she couldn't carry a baby to full term like a real woman. Not to mention her own family went around spreading her miscarriage like a wildfire, which is how my ex and I found out. They told it to co-workers even. It's not the first time that my ex has also interrupted her cousin's big events. For example, when turning 17, my ex cake smashed her, which wasn't fun for her cousin. Their first pregnancy announcement, which was the miscarriage, was ruined because my ex blurted the news out. But her cousins told her to get over that because it was a miscarriage anyway, so she's told by family members. This is what I was told when asking her fiancé. So she's been at a breaking point for a while. She was considering just still continuing the wedding, but she wanted to be left alone. They didn't call off the wedding permanently, just until the bride has cooled herself down. In the comments, Interbang Smoose says, "Oh my god, OP, you did the right thing," which very often is also the hard thing. It's not very comforting, but it's something. It's really unfortunate that you didn't find out about your ex before you tied yourself up to her with a child, because she's not going to make it easy. Keep doing the right thing, and good luck with the forthcoming munchkin. They're amazing at refocusing your priorities. How sad for her cousin. I hate that she let your horrible ex ruin what should have been a special day. Honestly, the fact that your ex says that she won anyway shows that it was never actually about wanting to announce the pregnancy, just about hurting her cousin for some reason. Don't back down fighting for your rights to your child. I'm very concerned about a person like that having sole custody over a living, breathing human being. I'm concerned about this baby. The timing of it almost makes it seem like your ex got pregnant just to show up her cousin. I'm glad you're getting a lawyer early. Yeah, that was my theory when OP originally posted. Mine was that she was lying. The timing just seemed so coincidental, and I've seen where people get fake positive tests. As deranged as the ex sounded, it didn't seem too far-fetched. Damn, never thought about the pregnancy may be fake. OP, be aware. And that's where I'm going to end today's episode, guys. I do hope you enjoyed. If you did, let me know what you thought of it down below in the comments, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.